is my week 54 weight loss update. We're going to be doing this as a live stream. I have a really busy house right now. My son from Missouri has moved up. We got him a job right away. He's making money. And this past week, I have been steadily back to work, running my dump truck. Now, we've also had some issues around the house where we had two family vehicles, both Jeeps, broke down this week. I need about over $4,000 in repairs for both of them. So we're struggling trying to figure out how we're going to get that done. So that has a lot to do with my weight loss stall, and the whole process of trying to lose weight from here on out. So as soon as our financial situation, which is improving, will get better here in the next few weeks, because Alaska, we do things seasonally. And I haul snow in the winter, I haul gravel in the summer. I have two broke down vehicles. I just happen to be on a weight loss journey already. So getting out and riding my bicycle is something I can do now, which I didn't think was ever going to happen again, especially about a year ago. When I started losing weight, I was approximately 435 pounds. And then I did a process of fasting, and then I was doing like the KetoVore diet and the Carnivore diet, KetoVore, keto, and everything started happening pretty fast. I started losing weight pretty fast, especially with fasting. But as time went on, I had a hard time figuring out, okay, what is going to be sustainable to keep my weight relatively the same. And so far what I've come up with is the carnivore diet keeps my weight like right there, because I'm a binge eater. I used to eat a lot of stuff like this over here. That's something we got the family last night. They haven't had pizza in weeks, maybe months. I mean, besides like the store-bought type pizza. So since we had a paycheck come in, we decided we were gonna, treat the kids with some pizza. I didn't eat any of that. I was kind of craving pizza, but something I've been using, even on the carnivore diet, to curb my cravings for pizza is I'll go to Costco and I'll buy those cauliflower pizzas in the freezer section, and those are pretty inexpensive. The whole pizza itself is right around 2,000 calories or under, depending on which brand you pick up. And that's not carnivore friendly, but it is KetoVore friendly, and it will keep you in ketosis while you're trying to lose weight. And it'll also help curb that freaking, like, I want to have a piece of pizza right now sensation. So that's the safest way that I can get past that. The other way I can do that is I can make a carnivore crust pizza out of chicken, raw egg, and a little bit of hard Parmesan cheese, and I can make a nice crust and get it baked up in the oven. Right now, what we got going on here is, we're doing eggs in the air fryer. Once that stops beeping, how about this? That's magical. So I fit as many eggs as possible on that middle rack. I set the temperature for this air fryer at 260 degrees, and then I ran that for 16 minutes. I already got the water bath all set up, so I need to get those out into the sink and let them cool off. Now, this is a little bit different than the way I normally do it, because I used to use a lot less eggs when I was experimenting with this the first time, and I really screwed this up the first time. So now I got enough out of there. And the nice part about these little racks here is I can just set them straight into the water, just like that. Since there's nothing going on there, I can just put this up here, let it dry out for a little while, because I do need to make some more eggs. Now we're going to let those sit in there for approximately 5 minutes in the water. I could probably put some ice in there too, but I'm not too worried about that. All right, so the thumbnail. I don't know if any of you saw the thumbnail, because that is the thing. I need to show you guys something. This is huge. So when I started this weight loss journey, I said I was 435 pounds. This right here, this sweater, was the very first sweater that I wore in my very first video when I was sitting out here on the porch. I just wanted to show you guys just how funny. It's super comfortable now because it's just overly baggy. But I used to fit inside this. I mean, that's a lot of room there. I mean, there's a whole, I could fit my wife inside here with me. This thing is huge. It's like wearing a parachute now. That was a year ago. This is a year's worth of weight loss. And I mean, this was kind of tight. It was tight in the arms too. I mean, I got so much space in there. Check that out. And this is a jacket I used to wear every day to work because this is one of the few things that actually fit me. Now these pants, these were too small. I just happened to go through the closet the other day and try out these workout pants. I haven't worn these workout pants for 5 years. They've just been sitting in the closet for about 5 years. Once in a while, I tried putting them on. They were too tight to get one leg in. I mean, that's crazy. But yeah, I mean, that's a lot of freaking room, guys, in 1 year. And I guess what I'm just trying to say is that this is possible. This is possible for anybody that's morbidly obese that wants to lose a little bit of weight, you know, get their initial weight loss off, and then all of a sudden you're going to become naturally active within a year. I mean, I can get on my mountain bike and ride for miles. Before I started losing weight, before I actually started gaining weight, I was approximately 285 to 290 when I bought my mountain bike. And I had a hard time riding it. I was very uncomfortable. I was extremely winded, but I was also eating garbage food. I was eating traditional pizza, like Domino's over here. I was eating that. I was eating gas station burritos, gas station burgers, you know, off the little hot plates in there, a lot of gas station hot dogs. I was drinking energy drinks, Red Bulls, Monster energy drinks, all kinds of espressos and stuff like that from the little coffee shops we have here in Alaska. And it was, I mean, what was I doing? And here this last week, I have not been the best carnivore when it comes to actually just sticking to the carnivore principle, mainly because our funds were low. I was extremely stressed. You know, my kid just moved up from Missouri. That was a stress too. I was worried about him making the plane, not actually, you know, let's say hi to him. Anybody want to say hi to him? Okay. That's my handsome boy over there. And he just started working a really gainful job up here. It was just like, as soon as he got here, you know, we started putting the pieces together. We got him to work. He's making a good wage. He's a young kid. He can be something absolutely amazing here. And I hope Alaska's his home, because I know it became my home pretty quick as soon as I got up here. But we're gonna let these eggs cool off a little bit in the sink and talk a little bit about my weight for the week. So I have really not lost any weight for almost a month now. It's got to be at least a month. I haven't had any substantial weight loss, and I think a lot of that has to do with stress, anxiety. The depression is gone. I mean, I'm not just sitting around, woe is me, because life is hard. Carnivore fixes that. I mean, I'm just like, whatever. You know, we have hard times all the time, and it's just really, okay, let's just deal with it and move on from there. But I'm going to say hi to the people that have already jumped in the room here. Let's see, you're doing well, mate. Angry Brit. Angry Brit, are you really angry, or is that just a funny name you put for yourself? Because I appreciate you too. Shannon, that's unreal. Carnivore to the win always. But like I said, I haven't been able to say I did like really good carnivore this week. I've been off the rails. A lot of that had to do with financial issues, lack of meat. I mean, we didn't have a whole lot of meat in the house, so it was a struggle. Now, we had a lot of eggs, but sometimes I just get burnt out on eggs, and I didn't want a lot of eggs. So once in a while, I was snacking on some off-the-rail type carnivore foods. That was really pissing off my wife, by the way, because, you know, she's like, she didn't say it out loud, but she's like, well, you're kind of being a hypocrite. You're talking about food, you're talking about ingredients all the time, and now you're eating that garbage. And she knows it's garbage. It's like, so why is it in the house? But I don't force, you know, like my son over here, I don't force him to do the carnivore diet. I don't force my kids to do the carnivore diet, but I do try to make mindful decisions when purchasing food items. And sometimes you just got to let people be whoever they are. So that's kind of where I'm at there. Little fingers, hey there. Let's see. Hey, Shannon, I appreciate you dropping in there. I'm going to scroll up through. Let's see. Autumn chimed in. Hey, thank you. Salute. Hello, Autumn. Let's see. I'm doing pretty well. Like I said, Shannon asked how I'm doing. I'm doing pretty well. I feel positive. I feel like I'm in a solid mental state of mind. My spirituality is pretty good. I have been waking up and doing plenty of praying for my family and everything else, and just trying to hold it together because there's a lot going on here. When you start the summer and you're already behind the eight ball with 2 broken down vehicles, it's like I need to figure that out, and I need to figure it out before winter time. I need to get the wife back into a vehicle. We do have a Dodge minivan, but that was the one we were planning on selling because really nobody was using it. Let's see. Angry Brit says, I'm just eating broccoli and chicken breast last 3 months, and it really helped me energy and weight loss. Angry Brit, on that topic there, that is a great cutting diet. Unfortunately, there's not a lot of fat. So when you cook your broccoli and you cook your chicken breast, if you could add some butter in there. Now, when I did that diet for literally cutting, I was trying to, get better, physique at that time of my life. But I was eating chicken, broccoli, and I'd fry it up in a pan, but I would add lots and lots of butter. That butter and that extra fat from the butter is kind of what we need, and it's also helpful for our energy as well. So definitely add a little bit more fat. You could also add beef tallow in there, bacon grease if you got some. That also works. Perfectly healthy, perfectly natural. And our body knows what to do with the natural fats. It doesn't know what to do with the overly processed corn oils and soybean oils and stuff like that. Yes, walking does help with weight loss. Absolutely. I have been walking a lot more. The family and I, we've been on a lot of hikes lately. So we go down to the beach once in a while. I'm not sure what we might have planned for this weekend. Last night we took the kids to the park. We had a wonderful time. We spent about an hour, maybe 2 hours at the park. I played a little Pokemon Go, just kind of mingled around and watched my kids play. So that was fun. But coffee. Hey, thank you, Master Jinzo. Yeah, we're doing our best. Trying to do stuff up here in Alaska is a little bit different than trying to do stuff down in the lower 48 because things are a lot cheaper down there. So I have to think way outside the box up here, especially when I'm trying to do anything on a budget. Now, so far with the budget I've been on, which is next to broke and pretty close to food stamps, has been mainly eggs and ground hamburger meat. So 80-20 seems to work the best. Last week I used a different hamburger meat because they didn't have any of the 80-20 available at Costco, and that's where we buy our ground meat from because it's a big 10-pound tube and it's amazing price for what it is. So we're spending approximately $30 to $32 for 10 pounds of ground beef. The ground beef that I used throughout the week this week was like a 70-30 blend, and I wanted to try it anyways just to see how this would feel. I didn't like it. I feel like it had a little too much fat. I didn't like the texture of the burgers either. They were good. I mean, they were burgers. You can season them, put a little sauce on them, a little bit of cheese. You can make them taste pretty good. It was all right there. But, overall, I think I'm going to try to do my best to stick with the 80-20 ground beef. And as time goes on, I plan on buying like top sirloin or whatever that big giant chunk of meat is and making my own steaks out of that, because that's a super affordable way of making steaks. I can make big giant steaks for like $5 a steak, compared to actually $5 or $10 a steak, because I believe it's like $5 to $7 a pound per meat, and I can make a 2 to 3 pound steak pretty inexpensively that way if I cut it myself. Now, if I get the individually packaged steak here in Alaska, that's going to be about $20 to $30 just per steak. So it's way cheaper to buy bulk meat, cut it down, and make it, however you want it. Water is important as well. Absolutely. I talk about water a lot. I mean, if you're not drinking water, you're not losing weight. I mean, your body locks up. It doesn't know what to do, with the fat or whatever. It just gets confused. And if you're not drinking water, your body will hold on to the water. And since a gallon of water is approximately 8 pounds, You can easily hold on to a gallon of water at any given day, depending on your water intake. So water in, water out, kidney function, liver function, organs, and stuff like that. Super important stuff, because if you don't have water, really your body gets confused. It gets about as confused as when you drink a soda that's just loaded with high fructose corn syrup. It doesn't know what to do with the high fructose corn syrup. Your body just gets shocked, and it's like, I ain't doing nothing for you today. So, and you got to be like really, really athletic, doing a lot of cardio and weightlifting and stuff like that to get over the hurdle of just drinking one can of soda. And I see people every day just going to the stores, just buying that stuff up, and it's you might as well be buying crack cocaine on the street corner, because this stuff is not good for you. It's not helping your kids. It's not helping your family. We try to promote our kids to drink water if possible, because we have an amazing water source, and it comes right out of the tap here. It's not like regular city water that tastes like chlorine and other chemicals and trash and stuff like that. Hi there. Hi, little finger. Abdullah Adola. I apologize if I'm mispronouncing your name, but I want to say hi to you there. I'm Big John here in Alaska. I live in Anchorage, Alaska. This is my kitchen. We live in a humble trailer home. We purchased it right around the time the pandemic was going on. And yeah, it was a pretty bad deal. So yeah, water is important. Well, okay, I got these eggs. They've been sitting in there approximately 5 minutes, I believe. Yeah, at least. We got 16 minutes on the timer here. Yes, unfortunately, I still vape, and I'm going to try to kick this here in the next year or two. I'm trying to get to that point. I tried to do it before, but I need to get further down the chain of weight loss, closer to 235, before I start focusing on this, because I tried to focus on this early on, and it wound up putting me way backwards. We're talking like 20, 25 pounds in the wrong direction. As soon as I started supplementing a little bit of nicotine with this, the weight started coming right back off, and I'm back down to about 308 pounds. Now, the funny thing is this morning when I woke up, I got up and I got my weight on the scale. I was approximately 309 pounds when I got up this morning. That's before doing anything, before drinking coffee, drinking any water. That's after a good night's sleep. And last night I ate about 3 burger patties. And also last week I was getting into the fruit a little bit. So I was eating bananas after I got out of work, like 1 or 2 bananas, sometimes some blueberries and some strawberries and some cheese. And like I said, I've been off the rails a little bit, but I'm trying to be mindful as to what I'm having. And I did feel like I had a little bit of stall going on with whatever meat I was eating, and that was the 70-30 ground beef. So it just felt like it was just sitting there. It wasn't like moving. It wasn't moving through my digestive system. And I've had slow digestive system ever since, before I started the carnivore diet. When I was eating the 80-20 ground beef, everything started moving real smooth. But as soon as you create a hiccup in your overall intake of whatever foods you're trying to eat, sometimes your gut just slows down. So since I have a naturally slow digestive tract, I think throwing in more fats made a little bit of a problem. It didn't make loose stool, which I thought it was going to do, but because when you add too many fats, sometimes you start getting like diarrhea symptoms. So, I mean, it is what it is, guys. But yeah, this week I'm probably going to start out my week doing an egg fast, which is because we got a lot of eggs. My neighbor from next door, she had a whole flat of eggs, and she brought them in over to us last night. So that's what I'm doing right now, is I'm getting these eggs ready out of the air fryer, and we're going to see how these turned out. So I fit that many eggs on one of those racks. I mean, that's pretty awesome. But I do like to pickle eggs, and unfortunately I don't have any way to pickle any eggs right now, because normally we have a lot of jars and stuff left over, but since my wife's doing a yard sale outside today, I think she got rid of like everything that I could possibly use to pickle more eggs, or even to make my own brine. Because when I looked in the fridge, I didn't see one single jar in the fridge. Yep, nothing in there. I don't have a way, because normally I have pickled eggs set up, ready to go. The reason I threw away the previous jars and the previous lids is because after you use the same jar multiple times, you start to get a little discoloration underneath the lid. And I was a little bit concerned about that. So I didn't want that to be a problem. And I need to get up here and get one of these so I can get my eggs out, get them drying out. I got a whole bunch of these because we eat a lot of eggs. Get this air fryer out of the way for the moment. Okay. So I need to get these out of the sink and into this little deal over here. So right now all I've done is I took the water out of the sink, and we'll try to break my tripod because that's fun. Okay, that should be all right. But yeah, we're just gonna get these out. I really don't need the tongs for this. They're not hot anymore. But yeah, just get these out, set them in one of these. And these are just gonna air dry. Now eggs naturally wick the moisture pretty quick. But I do want to get into these and see how they peel. Ta-da! We're gonna head back on over to the table over here. See how this works. Whew. Everybody say hi to my flat tire dog. Here she is. That's Sadie. Hey there, Holly. How are you doing? Holly Hobbies. I saw the one Shannon. That one Shannon, my son caught a bad addiction with diet sodas, triggers your insulin the same and makes you stall. I'd never liked diet sodas. I thought they were nonsense. Aspartame and all the weird sweeteners, people like stevia and stuff like that. I don't know what the wife's using. Oh, what is this? I think it's stevia. This is something my wife started getting into to get away from the shovels of sugar. It's their sugar container. We would shovel this stuff. We'd go through like 2 or 3 of these containers in a week before we started doing anything for our health. That was a lot. That was a lot of stuff. So, and my son picked up this trash can. I don't know how well this is going to work for the stuff I like to do in the kitchen, because normally we turn around and just throw stuff at the trash can. You can see that's from years past. I've tried washing all this off. That was from all that yuck there is from the previous owner. But I might have to I've been trying to find a 3-drawer solution for that, because this is all original stuff that came in my kitchen. And those aren't even drawers. I wish those 2 were drawers, because there's not even drawers in there. They're screwed on. So I can't even pull this out. And I'm not very handy with that type of carpentry, so I don't mess around with it too much. But I would like to get a new setup here. And this top here is just sitting on top. I mean, it's not even attached. And at times we have to pull this out, clean behind it, because the cats make a mess. But yeah, my son picked this up at work, and they were just getting ready to throw it away. But it's got a nice slow close lid. Super handy. But I think what I'm gonna have to do, if I want to do like eggs and stuff, is pull this out and set it over here. That way I can peel my eggs here at the table. Oh, hey, check that out. So this is the only cat I have that's allowed outside. We built this shelf right here for my cats years ago, and we call it the cat shelf. So we used to put a little bit of food dish out here, but unfortunately it started attracting other neighborhood cats. So there would be like random cats just sitting up here. And here in a trailer park, that's not what you want to do. You want to feed your cats, not everybody else's cats. But yeah, she's just out there chilling out, hanging out. Hey, I wonder if she usually doesn't want to come in, especially since the wife's outside right now. Hey, I'm talking to you. Hi. Touch me. Yeah, my wife's out there getting the yard sale ready. It's kind of a cloudy day here in Alaska. But, yeah, we're going to try to peel one of these eggs, see how they peel. Because I have really good luck with the white eggs. I did this same thing here with the brown eggs. I'll put them in that same air fryer, 16 minutes for 260 degrees, and those eggs just don't They don't want to peel. I don't know why. It's just frustrating. There we go. So, yeah, got a whole bunch of eggs. They're drying out. This is the best way I've found to just dry them. You just take them off, flip them over again. They'll dry even quicker. Now you can roll them around a towel if you want to. Like I said, eggs they just wick the moisture really fast. And then we can just put them in the fridge. So now when I'm doing an egg fast, I like to boil my eggs, and I like to have a lot of hard-boiled eggs on hand. And it's really the easiest way to prevent excess calories from getting in when you're doing an egg fast. That way you're not getting the natural fats or whatever oils you're using to cook your eggs in a frying pan. It's just one of the simplest things. We're going to try to peel this egg here, see what happens. It feels good. Okay, we're tapping it lightly. Now, someone said roll it, so we're going to roll it, see what happens. And that one kind of split in half. I must have tapped it too hard. Let's just see how it peels. I have the trash can right here. We're not just throwing this stuff on the floor, but it's peeling nicely. These white eggs just peel great. These are the white eggs that we get at Costco. And these are the ones from the neighbor. I'm not sure where she picked these up. But so far they peel pretty nice. I can't complain. Oh, okay. Yeah, since I broke it, so I cracked it a little bit right there, so it's going to peel a little funky right now. That's okay. We got a whole bunch more over here to play with. Now I did this for 260 degrees for 16 minutes in the Vortex Plus air fryer. See if I can crack that open. I could have probably gone a little bit longer. So one side of the egg, because they were sitting probably like this, or maybe like this. You can see how one side is not quite cooked all the way through. So I could have probably done this for 17 minutes, but I still have a very good, yeah, it's a very good egg. Try that yolk out. Okay. So there's the inside of the yolk. You see how one side's cooked a little more, but it's fully cooked. It's just not overly cooked. That's not bad. Okay. It's missing something. It's missing Redmond's real salt. And if Redmond's is out there, you can send me some of this. I love this stuff, by the way. I want to try the smoked Redmond salt. I've been hearing a lot of stuff about that. So we're going to try this again and not discombobulate my egg. We're going to roll it. Now, before, I never really rolled my eggs. And, you know, some people like me, myself, I've always had a hard time with peeling eggs. See, look, again, I think I need to cook these just a little bit more, but still, these are good egg. They're good. They're good egg. They're just breaking. They're breaking right in the middle. And it's only because I'm doing a live stream, because every time I do this when the camera's not on, everything works out perfectly. That's just how it goes. Everything works out perfectly. Now I noticed, so I provided a clip up there for when I was doing those chicken wings, and a lot of people were talking about the, you know, bacteria, health-related safety, and stuff like that. Now, when we do chicken, after we've done everything, we clean everything with a little bit of bleach and some water, you know, the way you should, because dish soap does not kill the bacteria. Dish soap just kind of moves it around. It is helpful for rinsing it away. So if you get dish soap, you know, in an area that's got bacteria on it, it will help rinse it down the drain, and it'll go away. But if you want to kill your bacteria from your chicken, possible salmonella and stuff like that, you need to add a little bit of bleach and some water into the sink. Just let it sit there for a little bit, just strewing it around, and, you know, wipe down your countertops with it. That way you're not getting food poisoning and killing the family. Okay. But I was really, really, you know, at first when I saw the comments about that, I was slightly annoyed. But then after I thought about it for a little while, I was like, wow, these people really care. I was like, these are nice people. They're trying to help me out here. They're trying to help me not kill my entire family. Because it was just constantly like, people are like, oh, that's gross. But yeah, anything in the area of the sink has to be cleaned. Even the stuff, that I had hanging in the background, which was some, I think I had some tongs, maybe some knives. All of that stuff has to get washed. It's not a big deal. I mean, it really isn't. You just wash it in the bleach water, then you wash it again with a little bit of soap. It's already somewhat clean. So yeah, if there happen to be any bacteria on it, you can absolutely get it off. Hey, Felix, how you doing this morning? Hey, John, it's been a little while. I have been doing pretty good. I've been back to work. It's been extremely hard to try to figure out how to do anything on YouTube right now with my work schedule. When I get home at the end of the day, I'm pretty tired. I'm pretty worn down. I have a busy household now. We have an extra family member. I'm glad he came up here. It's about time he came up here. He's going to be making some better money now. He can actually start a life for himself. Because down in Missouri, jobs just don't pay very well. I lived down there for about 7 years, and it was a struggle. Everything was a struggle. Yeah, that's good. Still a little soft on the inside, though. Not bad. So I got plenty of eggs. Now, me and the wife went Costco shopping yesterday, and we were trying to, because we just got a couple paychecks in, and we really haven't had any food in the house. We haven't had hardly any snacks. What we did have in the house was like leftover stockpile from stuff that we collected throughout the pandemic. Just random on sale food items, canned foods, canned vegetables, canned corn, maybe some Chef Boyardee beef ravioli. And at that time, we weren't even considering our health and nutrition at the time. And we ignored ingredients altogether back then. That was, 2-3 years ago. And then throughout the pandemic, we just kept acquiring sale items and stuff like that. Those are still important stuff to keep in the house, to share with neighbors, because our neighbors share with us. These eggs right here, they came from right across the street. So here in Alaska, we like to help each other out. When we get too much of something, we tend to share it. That's just kind of how Alaska works. I mean, we see somebody in trouble, we try to help them out as well. If somebody needs something done, we offer a helping hand. If they don't want it, we piss off in a corner somewhere and we go away. We say, all right, at least we offered to help. Let's see what's going on here. Let's see. I know his face looks thinner. My face has gotten a lot thinner. It feels weird. So something else that happened this week is I tried using my CPAP for one night. And it was just one night because I've been off my CPAP for, I think, a couple weeks now. And it's been good, but you can tell, if you're a person that uses CPAP and has gotten off it, you probably understand what I'm talking about. Because once you get off of the CPAP, you're breathing without the assistance of pressure, positive pressure on your airway. So you tend to get a little bit more phlegmy your throat. If you do snore a little bit, you can wake up and you can feel that sensation in the back of your mouth. And I was just wondering, I was like, well, maybe I am having some apneas or something like that in the middle of the week. So I tried it for one night. I had like all zeros the next morning on my machine. I was like, well, okay. I didn't sleep much better with it on. Because after a while, especially if you've had severe sleep apnea for the amount of time that I did, like the kind of sleep apnea that kills you, it's kind of hard to get off the CPAP machine, because that was literally what was keeping me alive for a period of time, like a little over a year and a half. And then it was just a really nice aid, to help me sleep better, have more energy, and go to work a little bit better rested. So I tried it for that one night. Nothing changed in the numbers. If anything, I didn't really need it. It wasn't super uncomfortable, but it's just, it kind of gave me that sensation of like having a baby blanket on my face. So I didn't care what position I was sleeping in without it. Now, when I am sleeping without it, I have and it does keep me awake a little bit. I'm thinking up here, hey, what position am I in? Am I going to have an issue if I sleep like this, or on my back, or on my other side? I have noticed that I toss and turn a little bit more without the CPAP use. And that's perfectly natural, because we lay on one side, we start to get a little numb, and then we might roll over to the other side. But sometimes that tossing and turning is us having minor apnea events, and it's normal to have minor apnea events. What's not normal is not breathing for like almost 60 seconds, 30 seconds, stuff like that. That's what CPAPs are there to help us with, because it'll sleep apnea will literally destroy brain cells quicker than doing illicit drugs sold on the street corner. I mean, it's pretty serious stuff. And I see people all the time that say that, oh, I'm just not going to use the machine. It's like, well, okay, then you're going to die a lot sooner. And that's just how that works. Let's see. Chest hair is wild, bro. I don't have much. I have a little bit. I'm glad you noticed. Some people like man cleavage too. I don't know. It's a thing. I don't try to show it off too much. Just kind of hangs out. Let's see. Smoke some weed. I used to grow it. Well, actually, my ex-wife was the grower. I kind of financed the whole operation for a little while, but made house payments. It's legal here in Alaska. Let's see. Felix says, I'm looking great. Hey, thank you. I appreciate that. Robin, hey, how are you doing? I still sleep with mine, and I seem to sleep better with the CPAP machine. I agree with that, Robin. Because, like I said, it's like a baby blanket. You know, it gives you that comfort, peace of mind, especially if you've had severe sleep apnea in the past. That's right, Holly. Man cleavage. That's a thing. You guys totally made me lose my train of thought of anything that I was thinking of talking about. But at least I kind of like nailed the topic here for at least the first half hour. So I feel pretty satisfied there. That's typically what I do in these live streams is I try to come up with a topic, a title, a cheesy thumbnail, and then I try to nail out, just run through the majority of my talking points. And then the rest of the time I try to focus on you guys. Yeah, because it just seems to work out great that way. I mean, it works good for people that are coming back for repeat views after this is uploaded. I mean, these aren't fantastically awesome videos, but this is my life, guys. This is who I am. This is what we do up here, in Alaska. It's a struggle at times. Things get better, things get worse at times, and it depends on a lot of factors and what's going on. Oh, look what I can do. There you go. So far, nobody has. Oh, somebody did make fun of my head. They said it looked similar to an egg. There we go. I got my work hat on. Yeah, this thing is. Look at the size of this thing. It looks like a fat guy should be in here, huh? Hey, Timmy, this used to be. This was me a year ago. All of this space was taken up by this guy here. You could fit in here. I could fit my son in here with me. We'd probably be a little awkward and close, but yeah, I mean, he could fit in here with me. My wife could fit in here with both of my daughters could fit inside this coat. That's crazy. My wife looked at me yesterday. She was sitting like right here. She looked over at me and she's like, wow, your skin is looking amazing. And this isn't the best camera. So, I mean, it looks kind of however it looks because it's a cheaper Samsung phone. It doesn't have great front or rear cameras. I've been wanting to upgrade to a different phone. That way I can connect a microphone. This camera is not compatible to do live streams with a microphone hooked up, or else I'd be using my Rode wireless mic and we'd have much better audio quality. But this is literally just bare bones system here and a little tripod, and it is what it is. Carnivore is great for your skin. Yeah, apparently. But this last week has been not great for carnivore, Holly. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh, yeah, I did awesome. And I did, ate all this meat and all this fat. Nope, that wasn't anything at all like this last week. There was a lot of off type stuff in there. But I tried to keep it down to a bare minimum. When my digestion felt like it was slowing down, I had a bowl of cereal. And milk and cereal usually make a pretty good movement for me, like within 24 hours. And that's what I was hoping for. Well, I did that for 2 days where I had a bowl of cereal at night before I went to bed. And normally beforehand, before I even started dieting, if I ate a bowl of cereal at night, the next morning, I would have an epic movement. And that didn't happen. So I stopped eating cereal at night. And this morning it looked like a grizzly bear, had a trip in my bathroom and left me a present. That was how traumatic it was. But I got up this morning and I weighed myself on the scale. It said 309. I was a little disappointed because that's 1 pound higher than my last week's weigh-in. And I was curious because after I went to the bathroom and I had this amazing movement and I felt like just stuff moved out of me, I was like, let's get back on the scale and see what that says. So now I am back at my original weight from last week. So right around 308.6, right in that range there. So no weight loss, no weight gain. I mean, you can call it weight gain or weight loss, but it was a turd. It was a 1 pound turd that came out. Crazy. Dry fruit and fiber. I do add a little bit of fruit into my carnivore diet once in a while. I don't, because if I eat like one banana, I'm okay. If I eat a little bit of strawberries, I'm okay. I can eat an entire flat, and I've experimented with all of this throughout the process. For starters, I removed it all for 2 to 3 weeks, and then I started adding things back in. And since I'm a binge eater, I have to really watch out. I could just sit here and eat 4 or 5 bananas, and then you give me a flat of strawberries. I can eat a whole flat of strawberries, and then I can go straight into eating a whole flat of blueberries, eating a bunch of cheese, just out of the package, sliced cheese, and then I can eat a whole bunch of meat. But that confuses everything when I binge eat that way. So, and this is also a reason why I got away from traditional pizza, because pizza was something I would eat the whole pizza. I mean, you give me a large pizza, I would eat that pizza and the next pizza, and then I'd come back 2 hours later and eat more pizza. And that's how I got up to 435 pounds. I mean, if anybody wants to become extremely morbidly obese, you can just send me an email and I can tell you step by step how to get to be like an epic giant fat man. It's not rocket science. But I have talked to people that have a hard time gaining weight too. Because sometimes people call, they don't call me, they send me messages and they're like, hey, I'm actually trying to gain weight. So they're trying to find advice there. I mean, I know how to gain the wrong type of weight, because there's a difference in gaining muscle mass and gaining fat, and gaining water weight. Just gaining inflammatory water weight is pretty simple to do. You just eat a lot of soy and vegetable oil and crappy processed foods, and you're going to retain water weight, and that's going to get your weight up. But that's not a healthy weight. Any of that stuff is not a healthy weight. So let's see, have you had your thyroid checked? Yes, Holly, I have, absolutely. And it came back perfect. I did. That was in my most recent blood work test. And I did a video on that a little while ago. Tony Hawk's Norwegian Wasteland had their comment retracted. I wonder what he said. Don't vape. I'm gonna vape. And this is the latter here. So I'm vaping instead of smoking cigarettes, or instead of using tobacco products in general. I already said this in the live stream, that this is something I plan on working on when I get closer to my goal weight, which is 235. So I got quite a ways to go still. So I'm a little over 300 pounds, 235. That's a long way away. But now, since my financial situation is starting to improve, but hopefully we can get the at least 1 or 2 of the vehicles going soon. Now, once that happens and we start getting a bank account back together, we could start focusing on other stuff, like health-related issues, losing weight a lot quicker. Because I lost over 100 pounds in the first 15 weeks of this weight loss journey. And the majority of that was water weight. That comes off the quickest. So once I got that 100 pounds off, my body was literally rehabilitating itself at that point. My back was readjusting. I no longer had back pain. I suffered for years with chronic back pain, chronic neck pain, arthritis in my hands, my legs, my feet. I had edema going on in my legs. And it was all preventable stuff. It was just preventable by what I was eating for food. So, once I got rid of all the overly processed food, and I found out a lot of vegetables. Now, this is through a process of trial and error. I found out that a lot of the vegetables were causing me problems, because there's a lot of science that goes into consuming vegetables that most people don't understand. And I didn't understand that either. I knew absolutely nothing about oxalates and the fact that the oxalates were creating kidney stones. I had no idea that cooking vegetables reduces the oxalates. I was eating a lot of almonds. I was eating a lot of nuts. I was doing, all the traditional, like, oh, you need more fiber type mentality. Well, I was also constipated all the time because of the amount of fiber from a lot of the vegetables I was eating. So once I started removing those vegetables, I started having improved everything. Everything started improving. So I started looking at specific vegetables as the problem. And I've done this for over a year now. I've been focused on my health and nutrition for over a year. I've made it a hobby. I might not be the best at it, but I'm just an average guy. I'm just a truck driver that lives in a trailer home. I drive used cars. I don't get paid to talk about this stuff, guys. If I do, it's like maybe $2 a day. That's all YouTube pays me for ad revenue. That's if I'm lucky. I mean, I'm not like one of those, I want to be superstar famous on YouTube. That's not me. I'm just trying to help somebody hopefully help themselves. That's all I care about. Because when I started losing weight and I started realizing like, wow, you know, I lost 30 pounds in 1 week of doing a 5-day water fast. And that was water weight. I mean, a lot of that 30 pounds was water weight. I might have lost 2 pounds reasonably of actual fat loss in that week. But it helped me understand up here that food and snacking and all the food and the types of food just wasn't as necessary as I was programmed to believe. You know, the whole food pyramid I found out was just absolute garbage. Just take that food pyramid, toss it in the dumpster, just start over from scratch. You know, they taught us that eggs, the cholesterol from eggs is going to kill us. It's going to give us high blood pressure. Guys, I can eat all of these eggs in a day. My blood pressure is just fine. I can eat a pound, 2 pounds of bacon right after eating this. Blood pressure's fine. I mean, my blood pressure has never been this normal in my entire life. I eat a lot of eggs. I eat a lot of bacon. I eat a lot of hamburger meat. If I have steak, I'll eat a lot of steak. I don't have all the previous blood markers or previous issues I used to have because I was eating stuff like this, but I was mixing it with overly processed garbage food from the store, or the corner stores, the convenience stores, that type of food, you know, bagged potato chips, you know, cookies on occasion, maybe some cake, some cheesecake, a lot of espresso type coffees. That was who I was before, and a ton of pizza. I mean, we're talking like pizza 2 or 3 times a week, and I was eating all the pizza. I mean, if I saw pizza, I was like, give me the pizza. I'm going to eat that. Even bad pizza, yeah, it was always a joke. Even bad pizza, I called it good pizza. But now eating like a cauliflower crust pizza, even though it's not carnivore, that is a lifesaver for me because I can eat that whole pizza and be okay. That whole pizza. I mean, it's a big giant pizza. It's about 2,000 calories. If that's the only thing I eat that day, I'm doing good. You know, because we burn more than 2,000 calories in a day doing next to nothing. So a 2,000 calorie pizza, not a big deal. But if we're getting movement added in there, you know, you can consume up to 6,000 calories a day and be just fine. If I eat 6,000 calories of meat, I don't have problems with weight gain. If anything, it just stays right there because I'm a glutton. So I'll eat, you know, maybe 4 or 5 like quarter pound or half pound hamburger patties. I'm not gaining weight by eating all that. I add a little bit of cheese. I put a little bit of sauce on there. I'm not gaining weight when I eat that. I'm gaining the initial weight of whatever the meat is, but then the body absorbs it and then it just goes away when I sleep. I mean, that's amazing. Most people don't even know that we lose weight when we sleep. You know, our fat doesn't go out our urine. Our fat doesn't go out when we poop. It doesn't sweat out our pores. Water comes out our pores. A lot of toxins come out our pores. But the majority of our weight loss, fat loss, comes out our lungs. We breathe it. We exhale it while we're sleeping. That's why fasting is so important. 32 pounds water first month for that more than weight. It changes by getting rid of swelling. Yeah, Holly's onto something. Let's see. People forget that carnivores do eat a few carbs. We just eat extremely small amounts. That's true, Holly. I mean, the majority of carnivores that I know personally in my life, they do consume some carbs, and it's not killing the program. That's the whole point, is that the carnivore diet is one of the ultimate, the carnivore diet and what is it called? The lion diet are 2 of the best ultimate elimination diets. This is just so we can get a baseline, figure out what the heck is going on with us. And the people that I talk to the most are usually the ones that are really, really confused. They're like, they don't know why their diet's so messed up. And we start breaking it down. It's kind of like me last week, where I was eating meats and fats, but I was adding in a bunch of random variables. So I expected actual weight gain, like serious weight gain on the scale this week. I didn't have that because the majority of my meals were meat and fat. So, and a lot has been talked about how eating foods in certain orders, I don't know if there's any truth to that. I haven't really experimented too much with that, except for the last week where I was eating some off the rail type food items, but I was eating a lot of the meats and fats first, and then I would eat maybe crap, whatever you want to call crap afterwards. But I tried to keep the crap, down to maybe 10 or 20% of my overall intake for the day. I didn't have any dramatic bounce back. I didn't have any dramatic swelling. My moods were fluctuating a little bit because of it. And it wasn't so much because of the actual ingredients in the food, in my opinion. It was because, I'm just kind of screwing up the works here. I'm just not sticking to what I know and what I've learned throughout the last year. But once in a while, I do believe, maybe a solid day of Wreck-It Ralph isn't bad. It isn't going to hurt things. My wife's out there on the other side. She's like flinging stuff around in the window. She already disappeared, or else I would have turned the camera around to show you guys. Keto is like 40% carbs, whereas carnivore tends to be 20 grams. I was really happy doing a KetoVore type diet, 90-10 eating principle, which is just 90% meats and fats and 10% I couldn't care less what my extra calories or stuff was for the day, as long as it's somewhat keto friendly and as long as I wasn't eating just random stuff, just the most random ingredients like high fructose corn syrup or soybean oil. I tried to stay away from that. So if I consumed that type of stuff, I wanted to keep it down to like bare minimum. And sauces, that's a great way to wreck the plan, especially if we're using too much sauce. And I use sauce on my burgers. I like my burgers with a little bit of barbecue sauce. My son did point out the other day that this barbecue sauce that I'm using has sugar in it. And I'm like, yeah, well, it's natural sugar compared to high fructose corn syrup. And this particular sauce has more sugar than I'm used to. So in essence, it's kind of screwing up the works. I'm going to try to get something a little bit better here as time goes on. But it's getting away from sauces is really hard. It's no different than when I was doing a vegetable type diet. It was like getting away from, like say ranch dressing or specific type of flavor of dressing when I was trying to eat a salad, because salads taste like crap. I mean, I don't care. They just taste like crap. Eating a salad without dressing was miserable for me. I was always upset. As soon as I was done, and I could eat tons of salad, by the way, I was miserable. And then I had diarrhea or constipation, one or the other. Because sometimes the vegetables didn't get washed properly and just loosens up the gut. Sometimes I'd have constipation because I had too much fiber, depending on what the vegetables were. Yeah, and I was always thinking that the constipation was a result of the cheese and other stuff. So far, cheese hasn't been a problem. I can eat a lot of cheese and not be constipated. If I eat a lot of vegetables, I'll be stuck in the bathroom for an hour and a half just trying to push out a little baby. Have fun. Take care. Hey, appreciate you dropping in there, Felix. Yeah, you're always welcome here. Oh, hey, hold on, Felix, before you get out of here. Let me see here. You've been here a lot, so we're gonna give you the little wrench. There you go. Okay. Yeah, Felix is a trusted viewer now. He comes in. We talk a lot. Let's see. The important thing is to eat carbs separate from high fat and proteins, and then you need to burn it off. You can do that early on carnivore after you fix the metabolism. Yeah, fasting for me really fixed the metabolism situation there. I mean, I really noticed that. Yeah, right on, Felix. I appreciate you dropping in as always. We'll talk again. Like I said, it's just hard for me to get out here and do these streams anymore just because of the schedule, and my daughters aren't awake yet. As soon as they wake up, we start doing the family thing, getting everything ready to go around here, getting them fed. But I don't know what the weather's going to do. We got clouds for like the next week here, so it's going to be gray. So outside filming is just kind of depressing. It's kind of hard to get good lighting outside. Yeah. Let's see. Chat, I'm heading off. Such a long day. All right. You have a good day, Felix. Let's see. Trying to go back through some of these. People forget the carnivores do it. Yep, we talked about that. 32 pounds, got that part. Lost weight gain. How much? Felix said, how much fat and muscle mass have you gained on the process of diet? That's something I don't know. Felix, if you're still here, I do not know I really don't focus on that much. And I'm seriously not heartbroken by what the scale says anymore. Because when I first started losing weight, I was extremely hormonal and emotional about everything, because the foods we eat have a tremendous effect on our emotions and how we handle just everyday life and stress. And I try to tell people that I find that are emotional, it's like, hey, you cut out a lot of this stuff, and you don't have to cut all of it out, but you cut out the majority of it. Yeah, your mood's going to change. Your hormone levels are going to improve. It's just amazing what too many carbs or too many seed oils can do to a person. It's just crazy. 9:33 a.m. Oh, hey there, KetoVore Journey. How you been? Let's see. Yeah, the time here is a little after. It's almost 9:40 according to my clock here. 9:40 in the morning. How you doing, KetoVore Journey? What are you up to this weekend? Well, yeah, we did some eggs in the air fryer this morning. I'm probably going to cook these a little bit longer next time. So I started out with 260 degrees in the air fryer for 16 minutes. Now the inside of the egg is a little bit not right. It's making them a little bit harder to peel than I want them to. So yeah, we'll just see if I can get this one peeled right. This one's peeling pretty good. Oh man, look at that. That's almost like a chef made that one, the way it's starting to peel. I don't know. I've always had a hard time with hard-boiled eggs when I cook them myself. Other people just, no problem. They can do it like every single time, perfect, no issues. But I also have these monster fingers that make it kind of hard. And I have never figured out how to peel an egg with a spoon. I've tried it. I've screwed it up. I watched people, do that silly TikTok hack where they took the egg and they put it in a jar with a little bit of water and tried shaking it. I tried that. That was a failure too. That was a mess. So I was like, I'm not doing that anymore. I'm tired of these little, once in a while, TikTok has something that works pretty good, but they usually leave out a step or two. And then that way you come back and rewatch it like 1,000 times. That's what a lot of the bread videos do. Because I was like trying to dissect a lot of the videos that were created like around just simple bread recipes. The ones where you put it in the pan and then it poofs up and gets real airy, almost makes like a pita pocket. So I spent like months trying to figure those out, and I realized that they were deliberately leaving out a step. So I would come back and I'd have to watch that same video, 20, 30 times and then still not get it right. So I was like, wow, that's a pretty good idea. I mean, if you're making content and getting paid, you just leave out a simple step and then somebody will have to figure it out. Okay, let's see. Peel them in a pan with cold water. Peel them under cold water. I've tried it so many different ways. It's crazy how many different ways I've tried it. But yeah, I will cook these just 1 minute longer. I'll try that next time. So this weekend, the plan is I'm going to eat eggs. I got some, they were out of the 80-20 ground beef that I'm used to. The 70-30 ground beef is completely gone. I'm going to try not to buy that again. Didn't make the best burgers. Really, really fatty. When making it in burger patties, my hands, even though I was wearing gloves, they were just covered in a film of fat, which made it hard to handle. And then when they cooked down in the pan, it was like a lot of water. I mean, it's just like a lot of water came out of them. More water than comes out of the 80-20s. Go ahead. Get the egg peels out there. So how you doing, dear? You doing all right? Mm-hmm. So far, so good?
I'm feeling a lot better than I have in the last 3 weeks.
That's good.
All it took was a bit of running. Killing my legs.
I just cube it and fried till crisp. Let's see, boiled pork belly. We did have some pork belly on sale, but unfortunately at Costco. But unfortunately, the pork belly, pork in general, and chicken, man, I have a hard time with that. We had some chicken wings we made here this last week. They were pretty good, but they were real fatty. They had a lot of tendons in them, and this is the bulk package. I got 40 pounds at Costco. So I'm going to either have to bake them a little bit longer because they were cooked to temp. They were all cooked up to 165 degrees, but they just seemed really, really, I don't know. They weren't, it's like they keep messing with the bird. Stop messing with the bird. It's just like stop messing with all the vegetables. Who was it? Was it you that I was talking to about the corn? No, it was my son Timothy. He was talking about the corn in Missouri. How it's getting all, it's different now. It's not like it used to be when we were there like 14 years ago, 20 years ago. Because what kind of corn was that you were talking about? You were saying like
Hominy?
some hominy.
Yeah.
Hominy. Yeah, hominy. And then there's like a sweet corn that we used to be able to go out to the field and just pull it right off the stalk and we could eat it right there. And it was really good. Now the corn quality down there has dropped so much that it's like, I mean, and corn's not even on my spectrum anymore. It's just one of those things. But it's like, wow, why do they keep messing with the vegetables? Like they're trying to GMO and modify everything, bioengineer everything to the point where, you know, the vegetables don't provide anything for anybody anymore, even if they did before. That's still a debatable topic there. Let's see. Yeah, my wife's out the door already. We're gonna have to. I gotta let my foo-foo out. Let's go. Let's go. You want to go out, huh? Hey, you want to go out? Tell me. Say hi. You want to go out? All right, get out of here. Shoo. Bye. Out in the yard with you. Just like that. I have tried cleaning this. Honestly, guys, I have tried cleaning the hell out of this door. The only thing that will fix that is replace the door or burn the house down. That's the only thing I can think of. But when we moved into this home, I think we've been here almost 5 years now. When we moved into this home, this place was a freaking disaster. I mean, we got it for a good price. That was the only reason we got it. We paid cash for it, and I just wanted to own it. I didn't want to mess around with payments or anything like that. I believe it was for sale for a little over $20,000, and I told the guy, "Yeah, I'm not paying that." I said, "I'll pay you 18," and he settled for that. I probably could have got it for 15, but he needed money too, and you know, it's just one of those things where we just try to meet in the middle and everybody's happy. I do miss popcorn. Yeah, that's a thing that I do miss. But no, it isn't really. But as a general rule, I don't look at a lot of these foods like they're just the end of the world if you consume them. Now, I do know people that are eating popcorn. They're doing just fine. I ate popcorn for a long time. I was doing fine. But I think the problem lies where, you know, we got into microwave popcorn, right? Everybody got into microwave popcorn. Almost nobody looks at what's used in the microwave popcorn for added ingredients, flavors, or anything like that. They just assume that it's just popcorn. It's good for you. It's not bad, because we were told that, right? Everybody was told, you know, popcorn isn't bad. It's a great tool to use for weight loss and all this other stuff. Just eat a lot of popcorn. But when we break down the ingredients of what's in the bag, for the process of going in the microwave to pop it, it's totally different. It's different than, you know, the Jiffy Pop. We used to have fun with that on the stove, you know, where you got to just shake the thing and it blows up and turns into this. That was fun stuff. I mean, that was fun as a kid. But when I was younger, we never had microwave popcorn. We either popped our popcorn in a pan with a little bit of oil, and it was usually the wrong type of oil, because when the oil gets too hot, it turns into a carcinogen, and we learned that over the years that a lot of these oils they screw us up once they get too hot, and they produce a lot of cancer causing fun stuff that we were unaware of, you know, just like Teflon. Remember Teflon? That was like the most amazing thing in the world, and then all of a sudden it started flaking off in our macaroni and cheese, and we still ate it because we were hungry and dumb. But yeah, I don't know many people that didn't eat it that were, you know, they're up in 50 years old, because we didn't realize it was so harmful, you know, to eat the little black flakes. Even we tried to pick them out of our food. That's how we were. But we survived. We survived. At least most of us did. Magic eraser. I've tried that. Yeah, I've tried the magic eraser. I think the only thing I'm going to fix that is just throw the door away. I need a new door anyways. It's just, there's a lot of things around here. We got 2 broken windows. that have needed repair in the last 5 years since I bought the place. The front window's been broken. I got a side window behind in the living room that's broken. And I wanted to add a window. And I also wanted to put in some windows that opened, like this kitchen window right on the other side of me here. I want that to open. I hate when people put in windows just to have windows. It's like, make them functional, make it an egress, some way to get out of the home if a fire should happen. Because when these things burn, man, they burn fast. And there's not a whole lot of time to get in or out of these things. In Alaska, you can build a shed. Oh, yeah, you can build a shed for $18K. It's a mobile home, Rasmus. So it's just a trailer home. I can't remember the width and the length of it. I think it's only 65 feet long. I think the width is approximately 14 feet wide. We do have an Arctic entry, kind of almost like a greenhouse type entry on the other side. But I had to build that. So this out here, I had to build this, all of this out here. There was like a derelict front porch that was on here, a big, huge, giant porch with a handicap ramp that went out to the road. And it was so bad. It was just, plus the roof was low. So the beams were like right here. If I were to walk out and not pay attention, I smacked my head on the beam several times. So we had to remove that porch. And it was like a porch built on top of a porch. I think there was 3 or 4 porches that were built on top of one another. It took me forever to remove it. There was so much wood. There was so much trash. It was all moldy wood, rotten wood. It took a long time to get rid of it. But you can buy a lot of trailer homes, fixer-upper trailer homes up here from anywhere from $10,000 to $20,000. Some of them are livable at $20,000, or you can just move in and not have a whole lot of problems. But the roofs up here, if somebody's not maintaining the roof in the wintertime, chances are, like this place here, we bought this home, we thought the roof didn't leak, and then through the winter, we had leaks in every single room. We had leaks right here, leaks in the living room, we had leaks going on in our bedroom, in our girls' bedroom, in my son's bedroom. They were just everywhere, and that didn't get solved until we installed a rubber roof on top. Then the skirting, because we had a few earthquakes, the skirting literally fell off, in one of the earthquakes. So it kind of fell off almost like dominoes, because they used insulated doors similar to my front door. They just cut them in half and they used that for skirting, which worked. It worked for many, many years. But after a few earthquakes, it just didn't hold up. So we had to have that professionally done. Sleepy Sunlight Forest. Bro, nobody cares. You care, Sleepy Sunlight Forest, or else you wouldn't be here. That's just kind of how that works. That's how my brain works too. Because if I don't care about something, I don't talk about it. That's how that works. So that means you care a lot. I thank you for coming in, by the way. Sleepy Sunlight Forest. That's a new one. This is important. Congrats on your award. Okay, thank you there. This is important. That's a new one. I haven't heard you drop in before. It's nice seeing you. I miss the old Alaska windows that would tip open on the top and swing open like a door. Yeah, I miss those too. But right now, windows are expensive. Even if you buy the cheaper vinyl windows, are expensive, and it's a major undertaking to get them put in and installed right. I did a bunch of them when I lived in Wasilla. I redid all the windows in that house, and that was a pain in the butt, because that was another home that somebody built that they just kept putting in windows that don't open. I'm like, why are there all these windows in this house that don't open? Just don't waste your time putting a window in that doesn't open. If it's a window that's like up high, okay, it's okay for that window not to open, but it would be nice if it would open, because you might want to ventilate up high too. But yeah, it's crazy. But yeah, back to Sleepy Sunlight. Nobody cares. That kind of reminds me of a lot of the conversations I have with atheists that try to make me, think that, God's not real and stuff like that. And I'm like, like I said, again, if I think something is not real or not worth talking about, I don't make it an issue, and I don't tend to talk about it, because it's just like flat earth and stuff like that. I don't care. So I'm not going to sit there for hours debating on somebody if the earth is flat or round. because at the end of the day, you know, when I open my door and walk outside, it doesn't matter. You know, just like for an atheist that doesn't believe in God, it shouldn't matter if I believe in God or not. So whatever, be happy with your misery, I suppose. It's just one of those funny random things. But okay, guys, we've been going on for about an hour here. I am running out of steam, and I don't have much else to do. Oh yeah, okay, the Costco trip. Since they were out of the 80/20 ground beef like normal, I purchased one of the sleeves, so it has about 15 or 20 frozen burger patties in there, and those are 70/30. That's what I ate last night. Those worked out pretty well. They're not grass-fed, grass-finished. I don't worry about that. You know, I'm doing carnivore diet on a budget. I'm just trying to regain my health, and hopefully in the next couple of weeks we can start seeing some weight loss results. Because I am riding my bike to work. I mean, I rode my bike to work every single day this week. And granted, it's only about a mile, maybe a mile and a half each way. But as soon as I get out of here, I have a hill to climb. And it's a little bit of work getting up the hill. I'm getting better. I push it every day. I push it a little bit harder. And this has only been the first week. So about 5, maybe 6 days of riding that route. I did it on the weekend with my wife because we had to go talk to the guy and get my job set up, do some paperwork. Also, we went over and checked out the truck and, you know, got a few things checked out on the truck. So I knew everything, all the details about the truck. So yeah, there's about 6 days of bike riding, at least a mile each way. So that's pretty good. I do plan on maybe getting out today and doing some riding around just for fun, or taking the kids out while we have somewhat good weather. I don't know what the weather's going to produce. It looks like it's going to rain, and we don't have a lot of money to be traveling around town, so our distances are limited, and I don't trust this minivan that we have. BK, Belgian Carnivore, hey, thank you for coming in there. And we're kind of starting to slow down here on the stream there. We're starting to wrap it up. If any questions you have, BK, yeah, absolutely throw them out if you're interested. This week I didn't have a whole lot of weight loss. We were suffering some pretty stressful issues with 2 broken down vehicles that are steadily trying to make money to get those fixed. I am back to work. So I had yesterday off. That was unfortunate, but it's just so strange how everybody was like chomping at the bit, ready to go, you know, work. Everybody wanted to go to work. And then we get a good sunny day like yesterday. And then there was like no trucks moving around town, like hardly any trucks were moving around town yesterday. I was like, how did that happen? And then we, Thursday, we took care of the plans I had for the weekend for work. So those loads were already done. You cat doing cat stuff. That's my Dusty Bear. Let's see. I'm riding a bicycle to work for 4 years now. I'm around 3 miles away and 3 miles back. So I was looking at another job, and I was trying to size up the distance there because it could be a possibility. If I don't have enough work this summer with moving gravel around, that I can actually fix my Jeeps, because I have to fix my Jeeps before the end of summer. I have to get those fixed. I have to get the wife back in a family vehicle. This minivan is not going to last. I don't think the entire summer. I think it could go anytime. It could have transmission issues. Already has alignment issues, front end issues. It has rear suspension issues. It's okay for just idling around and doing like grocery shopping. I don't like it when it goes on long trips, because the further away it breaks down, the more money it costs to get it back or to get rid of it. It's just, So yeah, this other job is approximately 3.5 miles away from here, and it's pretty much downhill from here. I'm getting better at hills, so riding a bicycle uphill is improving. Now my legs get burnt out quick. I mean, because I've only been riding a bike again, you know, consistently for a week. So a small hill kind of wears me out. So I can pedal, then I got to kind of take a break. But every day it's getting better. So I'm like just progressively building up the muscles, building up my cardio, building up my respiratory system. And in return, I'm gaining some veins in my hand, which I haven't seen in a few years, which is strange. So that's an improvement there. So let's see, I gained 25 pounds, quit smoking, and then I lost now 5 pounds. I quit 5 months ago. Yeah, BK. Tell me. You know, when I quit nicotine 100%, that was exactly the number I gained back. It was like that fast. It was like within a week or two, I was like 25 pounds in the wrong direction, and I'm like mid-swing weight loss journey, like trying to get down to 235, but I wasn't close enough, you know, to 235. And ever since then, I've been struggling to get back down below 300 pounds. You know, since I started the whole like quick nicotine thing. And then life happened, and then stress happened, and then holidays and birthday parties, fiberglass installation, cotton candy. Okay. Let's see. I'm fine. I'll pull up, just like take the juice out of the fridge. I don't know what's going on here, guys. But all right, guys. Like I said, I'm powering out of topics I want to talk about today. I think I covered the bases. Yeah, if you're morbidly obese and want to learn a little bit more about how I'm losing weight, you know, you can subscribe to the channel. I got a whole entire playlist that talks about, you know, basically week by week, you know, how things went for me, what I look like, sometimes my emotional feelings, my fasting practices, my random experiments, you know, on myself, losing weight and trying to figure out all of this, you know, reading ingredients. I mean, there's so much involved here. It's not all just carnivore topics. KetoVore Journey. I got some basic, you know, like keto type recipes, and yeah, it's all beneficial here. I just try to help people help themselves, because I mean, I remember where I was. I just wish there was somebody out there when I started that would have kind of helped me make more sense than because I was getting recommended like all the big channels, like on weight loss and nutrition and health and stuff like that. But they're like these super healthy people, and they're unrelatable to me. And that was a lot of my problem in trying to follow the stuff that they were talking about. Because, you know, the first guy was, all he talked about was eat less, move more, lose weight. Well, that's a great theory, but it doesn't work unless you know how. Eat less, move more means nothing if you don't read ingredients, if you don't know about electrolytes, if you don't know a lot of particulars. It doesn't mean a dang thing. It just means you're starving yourself and moving more and eating the wrong foods. So in theory, you're not losing weight, you're not gaining any health, you're just getting lighter. And I know a lot of very thin, unhealthy people. So, and according to my blood work and according to my doctors, they consider me extremely healthy. Even though I'm over 300 pounds, still technically, you know, on the BMI index chart, technically morbidly obese. But they said metabolically, I'm at one of the healthiest stages in my life. I'm 50 years old this year. I feel like I'm 30 years old. I'm more active now than when I was 30 years old. I'm more active now than I was when I was lighter weight. You know, when I was down to 250 or 285, I'm more active now. I'm able to do stuff. Things don't hurt like they did when I was eating all the crap food. So, I mean, yeah, it's totally possible. Okay, guys, we're going to scooch on out of here. And I thank all of you, Holly's Hobbies, Felix, everybody that jumped in here. Belgian KetoVore. Yeah, I love all you guys, man. I mean, you're all super helpful in the community. You help me keep going. And next week here, we're just going to be focusing on, it's probably going to be the majority egg fasting for next week. I do have some plans on getting out. I want to find a burger press. A good burger press, not like a piece of crap where the burger gets stuck in there and you wind up making it look like crap. So I'm going to try to scout around a burger press, but I might wait for that until my next paycheck, because, you know, these things cost money. People are like, oh, it's only $20, $30 or $40. Yeah, well, that's $40 I don't have, and I got 2 broke down vehicles. I had to fix my son's bicycle. That was $50. It's only $50, but yeah, it's a $50 expense. You know, my son got a flat tire. So that costs money. And then I have to drive down there. That costs money. And the time to do it, that costs money. And all this little costing money things just add up over. No, absolutely, you want salt. You want salt. You want to get rid of the sugar. This type of salt here, this is the perfect salt to use. As you can see there on the bottom, you can see all them little grains. That's all the minerals. That's the stuff you need. This is also great for electrolytes. Most people don't even know where electrolytes come from. They think it's Pedialyte. You know, that is electrolytes, but really your electrolytes is water, a good salt that has a lot of minerals in it, mix it in water a little bit, boom, you got electrolytes. You're on your way. Now, I like to do mine a little differently. I like to use a little bit of lemon juice, some apple cider vinegar, use some no salt for potassium because sometimes you get potassium deficient. And no salt is a great way of getting a little bit of potassium in there to get rid of those nightly leg cramps, or, you know, sometimes you get cramps up here in your arms if you use your hands a lot, do dexterity type work. But yeah, you got to have salt in your diet. I have more salt now than I have ever had in my entire life. Perfect blood pressure, by the way. I mean, my cholesterol, LDL, HDL, all that looked great. I mean, slightly elevated numbers, but since I'm not eating garbage anymore, it doesn't matter. Those numbers don't matter if you don't eat all the trash. You stay out of the trash, you don't have to worry about cholesterol levels, LDL levels. Your blood pressure comes back down to normal. The first time in my life my blood pressure has ever been freaking normal. I have a lot of salt, a lot of salt. My blood pressure is normal. Tell me how that is. People tell me all the time, you need to knock off the salt. Yeah, we need salt. The problem is we're getting the wrong type of sodium. We're getting the wrong types of salt in a lot of the processed foods. Blood pressure is going to go through the roof. We're eating a bunch of soy and unhealthy products, and sometimes we're eating our vegetables wrong. If we eat vegetables at all, that creates a higher blood pressure. There's all kinds of issues there. Salt's not the problem. That's where the salt comes from. All right, guys, everybody, God bless. I pray for anybody that's struggling out there, and yeah, if you can, send me a postcard. It's attached to the channel. It's in the description section of the stream. I would always appreciate postcards. I do need to get down to the post office today to see if anybody else sent some. I believe my cousin Deb sent me another postcard from wherever she was at recently. I think she was in Utah somewhere. But she travels around the lower 48, and she has a really cool, like a camper style bus. But she's extremely private and doesn't want me like sharing the details of her life. So we're going to leave that alone. But okay, take care. God bless, and we'll see you guys next time.